So for 20 years, I was a couch potato. I had 2 boys, had a miscarriage, so I put on a good amount of weight. A couple of years ago, I lost my job, and during that same time, I decided to do a CD. And in the process of doing that CD, I did a CD release. The summer of 2010, August 14, as a matter of fact, was my CD release. When I finished the CD release, the next morning I woke up after singing 5 songs, feeling like I was hit by a Mack truck. My knees hurt, my legs hurt, my arms hurt, my head hurt, everything hurt. And while I've sung for years, done concerts, singing backup for people, that feeling and knowing the kind of ministry that I was about to do, I knew that I needed to do something. So my goal was just to get started in getting fit again. I played basketball in high school, did a number of other sports kind of events, so I was always active. So I had to get back to doing that. So a friend of mine from my church, I was noticing, was getting smaller and smaller. And I finally said, okay, what are you doing? And they told me about their trainer and told me that I needed to talk to them and that they could give me a plan of what to eat, what to do. And that's really what I needed. I needed somebody to tell me, to give me things to do in order to get to where I wanted to be. I had no weight goal. I had no intentions of getting smaller, quote unquote. But what I wanted to do was to get fit. So I met with the trainer and we set up a plan, and I started out doing 15 minutes on the elliptical machine, 15 minutes on the treadmill, and then I did an hour with him 3 days a week, strength training. Now I do 2 hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I do 2 hours of cardio, an hour on the treadmill, and then an hour on the step mill or elliptical machine. And then I do 3 days a week still with my trainer for an hour, and then I do an additional hour of cardio after I've done my strength training with my trainer. I have gone from a size 16, which I was in August of 2010, and now I'm between an 8 and a 10. It has been a journey unlike no other journey I've experienced in my life. I recognize now how food affects how you can move, how you can just be, how food can keep you from thinking and expand your thinking. It has been difficult to change the way I eat, because I was an emotional eater. That process was definitely difficult. I couldn't even watch commercials about food. I would turn from the commercials because that would be a trigger. I would turn my head when I passed by a fast food restaurant because that would also be a trigger. Once I was able to change that way of thinking, it became an easier process because I realized I felt better when I ate right than when I didn't eat right. There's so many other things that I also learned. I also learned I could push myself to do a lot more than I thought. I thought 15 minutes was a lot. And now to do an hour to 2 hours is a normal event for me. Also, the acceptance of pain is another aspect that people don't think about. Yes, you'll go through the pain, but in the end, the pain works for you. It works for your good. Just like in life, when you go through pain, it strengthens your faith, it strengthens you, it gives you the ability to keep going. So that's really just a little part of my journey. And my end goal is to leave my 40s better than I entered them. And that means tight and right, no jiggle. So what's your excuse?